Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So just in case you missed my live stream, at the end of that live stream I did show one run of the Zerberiya Antiquity dungeon, which unlocks after chapter 8 of the side quest. However, I did decide to show a second run in a separate video, hopefully for those who missed that as well. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So again, being that we're in a new area, there are, new mobs in the dungeon, although they are the same mobs that we've encountered when we are exploring the likes of the Unseen and other areas like that. I would recommend killing all 15 mob fights, as well as both horrors that exist in the different areas. The reason for that is you will need all the materials here. There are 3 new weapons that can be bought in the store once you gather enough materials. Also, you have to use these materials in order to upgrade it, similar to the present, the other Zerberiya dungeon. And the reason for that is that, you'll be able to level the weapons up from +1 to +10. So once I get a few of those done, I'll make a separate video of that for you. Now, in this case, the mobs do have various weaknesses, all of which you probably have seen before. Now, for example, this particular mob has a weakness to slash. A lot of the later enemies do have weaknesses to crystal, so someone like Mystere would be helpful. They also have various weaknesses to certain weapon types as well. Now, if you're wondering, I'm bringing a full, a pretty decent, this is my normal dungeon clear. We have Gilnet obviously as a slasher. We do have Geryu as well as Myers AS. However, you can bring any sort of team that has a good mix of AoEs. And of course, you'll probably want one healer or support if needed. If you do have someone like Melissa, of course, she can help keep the bar powered up very, very quickly. In which case, then you can use the bar to kill off the horrors as well. So let me know in the comments below what team you are using if you have already conquered or challenged this particular dungeon. And then, maybe we can learn off each other as well. At the end of the day, you can definitely optimize your team. I was a little bit lazy and just kind of ran it, being over the last couple of days. There's been a lot of content that comes out, so I've been busy creating content, and hopefully you guys are enjoying some, if not most of it. Otherwise, you can see, again, we're just going to, burn our way through it. I do find, and you've noticed this before, I do find that normal style Geryu with his manifest does extremely well. He's enhanced obviously with Grasta, but with a little bit of Grasta help, he does a lot of damage. He can punch through enemies who are guarded or magic resistance, and even with the half damage, remember that if they're resistant, you only do about half the damage. He can still punch through all those and deal a significant amount of damage. Most mobs are cleared in one shot from him. Now, one thing to note, there are some crystal hounds in these two final areas, to Area 2 and Area 3, and those are extremely fast. At times, they actually outspeed my Melissa and AS Myris, so be very aware. And all the horrors and mobs can do critical hits, which can one-shot your character, very, very easily. And I actually didn't show that in this video, but I did have experience when I was running through, some of the other rounds while preparing this video for you. So, definitely play around with your teams and your composition of your team members as well as weapon types, and find what works best for you. Now, one thing to note, being that this is still a Zerberiya dungeon, you definitely want to have Clark on your team. You can grind his shadow. Same thing, red keys will have a 20% chance, or 1 in 5. And of course, that's pretty much it. Alright, so those were the hounds we were talking about. In that case, we were able to handle it pretty well, but still, they are very, very prevalent. And I note that they actually do group mobs together that kind of have varying resistances, so that you actually almost have to use 2 attacks for it. Now, when I was running through this, if you're wondering why I'm wandering around here, I actually forgot this is Area 2. Now, for those who are relatively new to the game, whenever you run a dungeon, whether or not it's hard or very hard, there are usually 3 sections. The first section has 2 treasure chests to go for. The second section has 1 treasure chest to go for. And I actually thought this was the third section. I hadn't kept track because just unfortunately, I was not paying attention. And the third area, the next area we'll be exploring, has 3 treasure chests. So a total of 6 treasure chests. There are also rare areas that I haven't encountered yet in this particular dungeon, and if you do get there, you will have a 1 in 20 or a 5% chance of chant script dropping, and those of course are needed to upgrade 4.5s to 5s, or you'll use them in conjunction with treatises to side grade from 4.5s or normal styles to the another styles. You also need 5 chants to use with 5 codexes if you are planning to farm ES Melina and you have at least one form of Melina, either AS or normal style. So we'll just wander around here. To make it easier, I do recommend using at least one enemy encounters plus badge or enemy encounters plus Grasted enhancement. The reason for that is as you walk through, these enhancements allow you to run into enemies sooner and thereby either allowing you to power up your bar faster or get those 5 mobs in before you get to the next stage, and that saves you a little bit of time. Now, of course, if you do want to just speed run it and don't collect the materials, I totally get that. However, like I said before, it is in your best interest to at least grind out to buy the weapons, and if you want to slowly grind them up to plus 10, if you're grinding out Shadow for Clark anyways, then you will have more than enough opportunity to get a plus 10 weapon. The first dungeon, I've already gotten 1 copy of plus 10 for each of those weapons, and I actually think I could probably do 2, being that I've run it quite a bit. Clark's almost at 80 Shadow, which will allow him to have a 4th move slot. And I think moving forward towards chapter 10, when we finally get the AS form, then you will possibly need all those moves, being that he is quite powerful as a free-to-play magic user. Okay, so we've collected all 3 chests, we've gotten all the mobs in, and we're going to go up the, I guess, escalator or platform, shall we say, and we just have to push ahead to the door. There are no chests outside, they're actually all the way inside. Now, one thing here, make sure you press the chest before you press the center exclamation. Otherwise, you won't collect your chest right before the boss. And I was very careful to not do that. Although I can see it's very, very easy actually to just auto press and then, there goes your treasure chest. And keep in mind here, you still have a 1 in 200 chance or a 0.5% chance of getting a chance script in this last treasure chest. Okay, so the boss here is very similar to the other Zerberiya dungeon. Not much to worry about. If you have a half bar, no problem. And again, at this stage, hopefully you have a full team of level 80s anyways, being that a lot of the mobs are very high leveled. Now, I know some of you may be asking, can we still get treatises? Yes, you can. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.